Good morning, everyone. So, this is a new series that I'm going to start doing every morning. I hope I can hold myself to it. It's in my plans, so I'm just going to say that I'm going to do it every morning for the foreseeable future. Anyway, this new series is called Early to Rise, and it's something for people who are up early. Hi, Psychic Readings by Lauren. So this series I'm doing is something for people who are up super early and just want to get started with a little bit of positivity. Really, it's also more for me because I am not a morning person, but in 2020 I wanted to change that. So, this is me helping myself and also helping whomever wants to come along. Hello to everyone. Well, yeah, to you who are just entering. So anyway, this is to help anyone who is looking for like positivity first thing in the morning, as well as helping myself develop the discipline to wake up early. I just feel more productive when I'm up earlier. I get more done. I feel better. And I just decided that if it means not being able to stay up late, then it's fine. Like everything I'll gain by waking up early will be so much more worth it than staying up late. Also, there's nothing I'm doing at 2 a.m. that I can't do, at like 6 a.m. or during daylight hours. So I'm trying to challenge my belief that I'm just more productive at night. Challenging that belief, also trying to change that habit. So, I would not like a reading. I'm not into psychic readings, Lauren, but thank you. So anyway, for those of you, because I know most of you, this is really early, most of you will be watching it on the replay. If you don't make it all the way through, because this could be a long video, I don't know yet. I'm also doing, if you take a look at my feed, I'm doing the Purge 2020. I guess you could call it a challenge, but as you may or may not know, I am a home organizer. And so, for personal reasons, again, I wanted to like do a very thorough purge of my own home this year because I've got some goals that I'm trying to meet, and doing that thorough purge will help me. And again, I decided to also help you in the process. So that series of videos called Purge 2020, which you can see on my feed, they will walk you through the process step by step, how to purge your home, how to purge unwanted things you really have no business dragging into 2020. And so, yeah, it's a very step by step, hand holding, encouraging way to go about it. I'm including worksheets. The videos are kind of interactive, I guess you could say, and it's going to be a 3-week process. So it's not one of those things where you have to sit down and do everything in one day. It's designed so that you won't feel overwhelmed. In addition to that, I'm also doing a special on my books. So I have 2 books. I have one called Unpacking the Purge, which is just like a handbook that helps you, purge your home or your office or whatever the case may be. It's available. It's an ebook. So you can purchase that. And with that purchase, I'm also giving away my other book, which is 28 Days to Better Time Management, for free. So you're getting 2 books for the price of one. And so that's a deal I'm going to run, I don't know, just until I feel like no longer running it. So take advantage of it while it's there. Hello to everyone who's just entered. So those are my announcements. On that note, I'm going to get into the morning positivity, which is kind of a big part of the purpose of me going live so early. So these are going to be based on another thing I'm doing for this year and, continuing the practice, which is, I'm doing a morning devotional every day. So, I searched for a devotional that really would make sense for me, and, that, cause I'm certain things resonate with me, certain things don't. Certain things might resonate with me right now, but maybe not like next year. I don't know. I'm really particular about what I take in, I guess you can say. So I looked for the right devotional. Found one that's actually spot on. It's about goal setting. So I'm only 2 days in, but it's really good and worth sharing. So I'm going to give, for those of you who are scripture people, I'll give you the scripture references, but I also want to bring out what's practical about these habits, because a lot of what's being outlined in this devotional I'm doing is stuff that I share with my clients, things that I already try to implement in my own life. And so I think this devotional really breaks those things down really well from a couple of different angles. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. And so let's just dive right into this morning's moment of positivity, and hopefully it'll set the tone for the rest of your day. So I've been doing a devotional on goal setting, as I just said, and basically it kind of breaks down why we need to set goals, from a spiritual perspective, but it's also very practical. I mean, maybe you're not a spiritual person, whatever the case may be, or maybe you subscribe to any one of 50 billion schools of spirituality. I think the takeaway is practical, so that's why I'm sharing it. So the first point is that when things are revealed to us, when we come to understand something, it's only revealed in increments that we can handle at that time. And so the biblical reference for this is Proverbs 3:56. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. So for me, I think the first 3 verses that this devotional covered are verses that have stressed me out in the past, and they stress a lot of people out, because they're like, well, how am I supposed to know what I do, what I'm supposed to do? What if I'm not getting answers right away? But I think the key focus here is the understanding part. And, it's kind of like a baby versus a toddler versus a 34-year-old man. Maybe you can only handle a little bit of the picture right now, or maybe you're not capable of going from point A to J. So all you can see right now is A to B. And I'll use myself as an example, kind of like vague examples. There are things I know now that I didn't know 10 years ago. And so looking back, I say to myself, why did I do that? Why didn't I just do what I'm doing now? Because it would have saved me so much time, blah, blah, blah. And I've learned not to stress over that stuff, or to beat myself up, or that's an extreme way to say that, but don't cry over spilt milk, because at the end of the day, most of us do what we're capable of understanding and perceiving. And if we're not doing better, it's because either we don't know better, either we don't really believe that better is better. Maybe we can't see. Now, okay, so since this is spiritual faith, there's the trust part. So maybe we don't believe that the better thing is really better. Maybe we don't believe that the right thing or the better thing is for us at that point. Any number of reasons, but it's just not digestible to us at that time. And so I think just the principle of tackling goals in small steps that you can easily digest, and I won't say easily, but that you can digest and take on right now, and then setting the mark a little bit further is a way to approach that, and just to show yourself some grace by understanding that you don't know everything and you're not going to have all the answers. And what seems like a good answer right now, you may later realize wasn't a good answer. Next week, maybe you'll realize it. And you should just be grateful that now you know better, and now you can do better and have better and experience more as a result. So on to the next point. Another verse that used to stress me out. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plan will succeed. So that's the basis. Again, taking this from a devotional, you can take the scripture or leave it, but the whole underlying point is just committing to what you do I believe everybody, whatever higher power you're believing in, you need something higher than yourself. But um, when you make a plan for your life or for your week or for your day, there has to be some sort of accountability, some sort of commitment that you're making if you really want to see that plan happen. And so the practicality of that is you got to set goals. So a goal represents a commitment. It's a benchmark. It's saying I'm gonna run from here to the end of the street every day for 5 days or whatever the case may be. It's defined, clearly defined, it's measurable, it's something that's hopefully attainable. If it's not attainable, then set a smaller goal. When you reach that smaller goal, then you can move the markers and, maybe you can only run halfway down the block. And then, you have to walk back home and rest or whatever. That's today, but maybe like a month from now, you'll be able to achieve your original goal of running from here to the end of the street. So part of committing to a plan is holding yourself accountable, setting goals, and in addition to that, seeking wisdom. A lot of people think it's enough to just know what to do or just to know better. But not only do you have to seek wisdom, but you have to practice as it's revealed to you. You have to practice. It's not being revealed to you just so you can, go around saying, haha, I know that. Like, what does that profit you or anyone else? You have to practice whatever is being revealed to you. And if you're feeling frustrated because you're seeking wisdom and you're not finding it, you have to keep seeking. So, some things are a test of perseverance. Some things are buried treasure that's really worth the quest. Therefore, you have to go through the quest. And a lot of times the lesson is in the quest. So if you're not getting the answers you're seeking, the wisdom you're seeking right away, keep on seeking. Hi, Brenda, virtual assistant. Good morning. So that's also under the category of committing to your plan. You have to always be on the lookout for whether this is the right path. Maybe you'll need to adjust your plan. But just make sure that it's coming from like a wise place and that you're, maybe kind of keep your head on a swivel or always be open to better information or, don't be so fixed in your ways that you can't be told better, because that's another problem. I'm well, Brenda. How are you? Thanks for asking. So that's another problem, actually. People become so fixed in their ways and set on what they want that, or, just like maybe it is an ego thing. It's a pride thing. Sometimes it's a self-esteem thing, but we sometimes are unable to accept wise counsel because it hurts us to be wrong, or maybe you don't want to be wrong about something, or maybe you just don't believe that person or whatever the case may be, but you have to be willing to be open to wise counsel. You have to be willing to test your own theories. That's another big thing. Like sometimes people will latch on to what they believe and then they won't be willing to test it to see if it's true. But I'm a huge proponent of research and looking at other ways of doing things, and just like, it's fine to believe what you believe, but there's a whole world of information out there, and some of it you can possibly take and benefit from. Some of it you just take it and leave it, or just like leave it where it is. But you're no worse off for knowing what's out there and for being even more convicted in, your original path, if that's the outcome. So that is committing to your plan. Goal setting. Goal setting is practice. It's doing something about it. It's not enough to just want better or to make a plan. Got to do something about it. That's setting a goal. That's following through with that goal. Mm-hmm. So the next point is faith and sincerity. So again, it's easy to set goals and to want things, but we have to look at our motives as well. Sometimes you don't have what you want because your motives are off. Again, getting back to ego, do you want let's say you want to be a billionaire or whatever the case may be. Is it for ego? Is it so you can show off to other people? Is it so you can do a bunch of stuff you have no business doing? Is it so you can help people part of the time, but really just like feed your vices? Do you even know what you would do with the money? That's a big one. Even if it's not about money, weight loss. Are you losing weight to make someone jealous? Like maybe your ex-husband or something. Are you losing weight because you're trying to live up to standards that you see that really don't benefit you? Maybe you're a lot up in social media. Maybe it's like you're competing with your next door neighbor. What are your motives? And be sincere about why you want to achieve your goals. And that's where, like, don't lie to yourself. Like, you have to develop the practice of being honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. It pays. Because if you can get to the bottom of your motives not being good, you'll save yourself a lot of time. You'll save yourself a lot of heartbreak. And you'll set goals that are better suited to your purpose, and you will achieve them. So the spiritual reference point for that is Hebrews 11:16, and it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. So if you're a scripture person, the part about believing God exists is really deep, because like maybe you believe on a surface level, but you might not believe your goal is attainable, or you might not really believe that all things are possible, or maybe the version of God you believe in isn't one that in your mind is capable of what you want. And so you resort to all these other things to try to make your goals happen. Or, or maybe you believe in a sinister version of God, or maybe you believe in a version of God that doesn't like you. That's another. I think a lot of us have struggled with that and do struggle with that. So it's important to examine that if you're coming at this from a spiritual perspective. And it will tie into the sincerity of like why you want to achieve your goals, because most of us really do want something that's bigger than ourselves, whether it's helping your family, whether it's helping your community. It might be like a sibling you want to help. It might be an organization, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times insincerity gets mixed in with that. So it's always important to keep yourself sincere and honest, accountable, realistic in your goal setting. Checking my notes. I think that's all for that point. So, yes, I made notes. I always do. So yeah, based on that, and as a separate point, it's very important to decide which goals you will prioritize. A lot of people struggle with this. Prioritization, making decisions. A lot of people get anxiety when it's time to make a decision and place importance on one thing over the other. I totally understand it. I work with those types of people every day. They're my clients. And believe it or not, it's the underlying reason why a lot of people aren't as organized as they want to be. They just freeze up. So, the way this pertains to goal setting, you're going to have to pick and choose. Anyone with kids, anyone with a marriage, anyone who, again, like maybe you have like a younger sibling you need to help your family, whatever the case may be. If you've got real life responsibilities, you can relate to how stressful it is to prioritize one thing over another. But know that it's a necessary part of life, and know that just because you prioritize something doesn't mean that the other things on your list get ignored or that they're not important. And oftentimes, when you set your number one, that can be something that if you focus intently on, it gets to a place where it's kind of taken care of, at least for the medium term, if not for the medium term or the long term. It's something that may not require as much of your attention, and you can work on the other things on your list. So, for example, like raising kids, that takes a while, but kids aren't going to be kids forever. So, maybe that's your number one priority, and you put off, or you don't put it off, but like you spend your time raising your kids, but you can only devote like, 2 hours a week to taking an online course or something like that, or working on a hobby or a side hustle. But as those kids get older, you can devote more time to that, and your priorities will shift a little bit. Not that that becomes number one, but you're able to allocate more of your resources to it because the kids will become more independent. That's just an example, but this happens in all areas of life. Like, I don't have kids, and I have to do this all the time. Even in terms of prioritizing what you want right now versus what you can wait on, prioritizing saving money over taking that vacation today, or prioritizing, I don't know, like where you want to live, for example. Saving money is really like a big one that I think everyone can relate to, because either you can do what you want this moment, or you can save up and do something even bigger. Either you can invest in a business that will support you later, or you can, I don't know, do any one of 50 billion things that makes a demand on our money. We can all relate. So, yeah, attention, what gets your attention now, whether your friends get your attention now, maybe you're a little bit less social, maybe you go out a little bit less right now, but you're working extra hours to save, or you're going to school to get another degree. There is like any multitude of ways that will be called to prioritize things, and it's important that you get to your motive, I always tell my clients to have a one sentence objective, a life objective, and it can change over time, but what's your life's objective? And then you align your goals according to those objectives. And from there, the priorities kind of make themselves apparent. Like, if you, if you want to be the first one in your family to graduate college, you know that you need to prioritize education and finding a way to finance your education. If you want to be a great mother, you know that that's going to take priority over some other things. If you want to be a great business owner, then you should be finding a way to allocate more time and resources toward your business, and less resources and time toward things that drain you and distract you from that purpose. And maybe your goals are a combination of these things. Then it's a matter of weighing the importance of each and dividing your time accordingly. But that's a whole thing. If you're there, like, I highly recommend my 28 Days to Better Time Management ebook, because like it helps you. I do talk about prioritizing things in there. But anyway, so on to the next point. It's all about setting deadlines, making lists. This is where we get super practical. So the scriptural basis of this is Ephesians 5:15 through 16. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity. That gets into time management too. Every minute is an opportunity. Don't freak out when I say that, because it's easy to panic. I know this is another area where I've stressed out in the past, and still today even like a social interaction, I'll say, you know what, I could have talked to this person about this, or they know that person. Why wasn't I more outgoing? Why didn't I do X, Y, Z? I was here. These other people were here. Why didn't I try to meet them? It happens. We all go through it. And so, yes, you should make the most of every opportunity, but you also have to understand that not every opportunity is a good opportunity. Not every opportunity is going to be the right time. Not every opportunity is going to be for you. Not every opportunity is going to be for you right now, but it may be next week. So like, don't beat yourself up. Maybe it's better that you were a little bit more laid back in your first interaction with that person, because they're able to see a reason to work with you without you hammering them over the head with an aggressive sales pitch. I tend to believe that if you believe in a divine plan, or if you just like believe things work themselves out, that, things happen for a reason, and that first interaction might not be your last, but it is important to do your best to prepare for, every opportunity. And in terms of goal setting, the very best way you can take control and seize every opportunity is to set deadlines for yourself. If you've got a goal, that means you have to get really specific, break the goal down, set deadlines, not only a major deadline for when you want to meet that goal, but also minor deadlines for where you break the goal down into steps, and then you set deadlines as times by which each step should be completed. So, for example, if your goal is to be enrolled in college or enroll your kid in college by next fall, obviously you're going to have your child on a deadline. You're going to be on deadline. Maybe you're saving for college for the kid. You're keeping them on top of their schoolwork. You're making sure they take their SAT, the ACT. You're applying for scholarships. Maybe you're doing some early applications to some schools. If it's for yourself, maybe you want to lose 10 pounds by a certain date. So obviously you are putting a plan in place. Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds in 6 months. Putting a plan in place, you're signing up for a gym membership by this date. And by the next deadline, you will have completed like 3 sessions with a personal trainer, and you'll have a meal plan in place. By the next deadline, you'll also add early morning jogs. Whatever the case may be, you take baby steps and you set deadlines by which you complete those baby steps, and that will, in the end, add up to your official big deadline, and you won't be you won't be scrounging and rushing at the last minute. You won't be stressed out. You won't be tempted to procrastinate as much. I'm not going to say all temptation goes away, but it's much more difficult to procrastinate when you set a very attainable deadline, like a week from now, on a goal that you're supposed to meet by next year. So, in addition to that, another way to seize every opportunity, make a list before you even, after you set the goal, before you start doing the deadlines. Make a list of things you need to change in your life in order to achieve that goal. So again, in terms of like social interactions, if you feel like you're not outgoing enough to network with the people you need to know, maybe you need to take a public speaking class. Maybe you need to become involved in groups more. Maybe you need counseling or a coach to help you with that. So just make a list of things that will help you seize every opportunity and be more prepared. Maybe you need to get somebody to help you with procrastinating. I actually offer strategy sessions, virtual, with people who are here in New York and people who are elsewhere, to help them with things like procrastination, things like time management. I have a huge time management coaching course. If you're not able to make that type of commitment, strategy sessions are affordable. They're 30 minutes, and it's a way to just like go over your current sort of mental blocks, roadblocks, whatever the case may be, that could be holding you back. You don't have to work with me. You could work with anyone. Maybe you need like to go to a real licensed psychotherapist to help you work through some things, to help you get to a place where you can achieve those goals. The point is, you're setting yourself up to seize every opportunity and make the most of it by making a list of foreseeable obstacles that you need to overcome. And you don't have to overcome them all before you start working, actually, but just so you'll be aware of them and start working on them. And the final point, actually, I've already kind of covered this. So if you were listening in the beginning, this whole presentation-y thingy is based on a devotional I've been doing. So it's all about seeking wisdom. If you're a scripture person, a Christian, a God person, whatever you are, seek God for direction, because your higher power has a plan for you. And then listen and try to align yourself with that plan. And again, it might take a lot of listening. It might take a lot of seeking. It might take a lot of legwork. It might take delving deeper into who your higher being is to you and what that means in your life. So keep listening, keep going deeper, keep seeking, keep asking. Look around, look for practical information, solutions, to help you figure out what's best for you, what your plans for your life are, what goals you want to accomplish. 'Cause really there are things all around us. Like, the truth is all around us. We just have to go looking for it. And a lot of it is also finding out who you are and what you really want out of life. On that note, I'm going to end this session of Early to Rise. my new early morning series for early risers, for people like myself who are not early risers but who are trying to become early risers, and anyone who wants to get their day started off with a bit of positivity before you enter the outside world. So I will see you later. I'm going to be uploading another video. Will I do a video? Yeah, probably a quick video for Purge 2020. Definitely going to do a list because today is going to be about list making. So follow along and subscribe to my channel, or subscribe to my channel. This isn't YouTube. Follow my account. Check out my IGTV for Purge 2020. Check out my stories. I'm going to be posting info in there as well. And I wish you guys the best day. On that note, I'm going to see you later. Be well, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.